So some weeks when you're doing Saturday Night Live between 85 and 90, some weeks you're getting gold that's written, and some weeks you're not.
Yeah, and I'll tell you a story about that. So there was my first year, there was a sketch. I did it with Joan Cusack. And then afterward, on Monday, he'd always call me in his office and yell at me. And I was working my ass off. I don't know, but so he said, "What happened with that sketch? That was written for you. It was a great sketch." And I said, "Well, what happened was right before we started, Al Franken came up to me and gave me a note about how to play the scene, and then Jim Downey came up 5 minutes later and gave me the exact opposite note." And then I went, and then you go act, and then you're on. I was so confused. I didn't know what to do. As long as, well, fuck the writers. I hired you to, you do your job, to be funny. I said, well, what are you saying? So I go, and then I said about a sketch that's bad. I said, well, I go, make everything funny. I go, what if the sketch is bad? I can't make, smell like a rose.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, that's your job. I goes, I don't care. That's your job. I hired you to be funny. Be funny. So I said, all right. So you're telling me that if the writers come up to me and tell me to do something and I think it's wrong and I don't have to listen to him? He goes, that's right. I go, okay.
All right.
Well, then the rest of this years and this, they go, oh, he's difficult. They go, do this. I'm like, nope. Why not? I go, because you're wrong. It's not funny. And I'm not having Lauren scream at me again. Nope. And mostly I would do this with Al Franken, and Al's brilliant and would write a lot of stuff for me. And he goes, no, it's this. I go, no. Now, in deference to Al, sometimes I would miss a joke, and he goes, oh, you missed the joke. I go, what is it? So it wasn't like I knew everything. Mm-hmm. He goes, it's this. And I go, oh, I didn't see it. I go, all right, thanks, But a lot of times he would tell me stuff, do this. I go, no, Al, it's not that. I'm telling you it's this. And then I would do the sketch on air the way I wanted to. I mean, I would take some of his stuff, but a lot of it was also the way I wanted to, not just me, but both. And then he'd come up and hug me afterward. Oh, that was so great. I go, okay, Al, that's what I've been talking about all week. Right. Can we please not do this every week? No, next week. Da-da-da. I go, no, it's, and it's not that I was all, just me, because like I said, a lot of stuff he said was, he would help me a lot too, but if he said something that I knew wasn't right, I go, I'm not doing it. And I go, I'm doing it this way. And then I do the sketch and he'd hug me. That was so great. I go, that's what I was telling you all week. I wanted to do it like that. So yeah, it's tough. There was a sketch, Kevin Kline hosted the show, and obviously Kevin's, brilliant actor. And it was a sketch about a plane crashes in the jungle, and so then it goes, a plane crash, and we goes day one, and then we all come into this clearing in the jungle, passengers, and Kevin's the pilot. He goes, all right, well, we've crashed in the jungle. We're going to send a mayday, and da-da-da. This is what's going on, so don't worry. And then we leave, right? And it goes day two, and then we all come back in. All right, well, here's what's going on now, da-da-da-da-da. And then, okay. Then it cuts the Chiron. Day, 5. We all walk in again. So it's us walking in, walking out, walking in, walking out. Like 7 times. We did the sketch on dress rehearsal. Death. Not a laugh, just silence. The whole sketch. Then they picked a show, and they put that sketch in the show. And of course, I'm thinking, what? Why? It died. It was nothing.
Right.
But they put it in the show. All right. So we are going in. We go, this is just going to die. By the way, we didn't hardly have any lines, maybe a question. We go, what about this? You go, what are we going to do for water? I mean, it's not a funny line. You just go well, you're concerned. And then when I was in the show, we would try to combine really do our best acting and be really funny, but make the sketch real, and it's not about breaking and laughing and it's about the sketch, right? And the premise of the sketch, that's what you're trying to sell. So, and the premise isn't a sketch, but that's what you're selling. So anyway, so we come out and we do the first time we're out, silence, we leave. Then we do it the second time, silence. We come out a third time, silence. And I look at Jan Hooks was in the scene. I go, Jan. Now I'm like crying, laughing. I go, Jan, we're bombing. We're eating it. I go, we have to go out 4 more times.
Wow.
So we're just eating it.
Right.
So we go out, nothing. We come back. I'm like, we're crying, laughing, because the audience is just silent. It's 350 people. It's just silence. I go, Jan, three more times. We go out, nothing. We go back. We're like dying. That became the joke, that we were just eating it. I go, I mean, it was just death.
So nothing ever
Nothing
happened?
we could. What could you do? We didn't have any lines. It's all Kevin. It wasn't Kevin's fault.
No.
The sketch wasn't funny. It was the same thing over and over and over.
So how does that get through? How does a sketch like that get through?
I don't
When
know.
there's so much comedy brain there.
Yeah.
The way they run the show is they'll write the show, everything. It's like being in college. It's last minute. Late at night, they start writing at 10 at night on a Tuesday. They'll write 30 to 40 sketches. Then read through is on Wednesday from 3 to 5. Then out of the 30, 40, they'll pick 14 sketches. And then they have to have them all picked by 7 o'clock, because it's fascinating, kind of. Then because you have to turn all the sketches over to the set design department. Then they design all the sets from 7 in the morning, 7 at night till 7 the next morning for 12 hours. And then they got it and have it, the blueprint plans, everything done. Then they send it out to where they make the sets in Brooklyn. Then and now it's Thursday, and then they'll like from 3 to 8, they'll
Run through.
they'll block some sketches.
Right.
Then Friday they block the rest, like say 12 or 11:30 to 11:30, 12 hours. And then it's 14 sketches. They're only going to do 8. There's only room for 8. So then on Saturday, sometimes they're still blocking sketches. There wasn't time. And then dress rehearsals, they break for dinner at 5:30. I mean, I loved it, to be honest. And then you'd go crazy, but I loved it. And then at dinner 5:30, 6:30, you get ready. And then 8 to 10 is dress rehearsal. And then you're done. Then you go to Lauren's office at 10:30. And out of the 14 sketches, they've cut 6, which is an hour of show. So that's how they do it. So, and then you get all the notes till 11, and then I would write down. I'd see what sketches I was in, and then on the back of my script, I'd write it out and all my notes, and then. So Dana and I go, Dana, this is like crazy. And Sid Caesar, the great comedian, he did your show of shows in the 50s. He did sketch comedy on TV, an hour and a half.
Absolutely, live.
He really invented that format. So we run into Sid Caesar at the airport, and we say, hi, fellas. I go, hi, Sid, we're on Saturday Night Live. And I go, can I ask you a question? He goes, yeah. I go, well, when you did the show, like, this is how we do it. Would you do that? Like, pick 14, cut 6, and then Wednesday? He goes, no, we'd like, on Monday, we'd have read through on Monday and pick like the 9 or 10 best sketches, and then we'd have all week to work on them and then do the show Saturday. So I look at Dana, I go, see? I go, and would the writers direct the sketches? He goes, no, what do they know? They don't know anything about performing. I look at Dana, see?